Cam Rogers here, taking a look at the Browns preseason profile. Some of the key additions, there were a lot of them, Jarvis Landry included. Of course, Tyrod Taylor comes over from Buffalo. Carlos Hyde is now on the team. How about those first-round picks, too? Baker Mayfield at #1 overall, and then Denzel Ward to help things out in that secondary. Meanwhile, you got E.J. Gaines back there, Demarius Randall as well. Jason McCourty is no longer. He's with New England. But I think the Browns really did a fine job in terms of bringing in some really critical assets to that offense as well as that defense. In terms of the key losses, Isaiah Crowell moving on. He's with the Jets. Joe Thomas, of course, is off into retirement doing other things. The stalwart there at left tackle. Overall offseason grade for me. I'm a tough grader. I'm giving the Browns an A, though. They did a really good job. The talent on offense is there. Josh Gordon, Carlos Hyde, whom I talked about, Duke Johnson as well. A lot of fun pieces on that team. All right, so that's a look back. How about a look forward now to the preseason? So for the Browns, here is the rundown. They take on the Giants, followed by the Bills, then Philadelphia, and then Detroit in that Week 4 game. Let's zone in on that Week 3 game against the Eagles, the dress rehearsal. Well, how about this? You take on the defending champions. The Browns go up against a dynamic defensive line in Michael Bennett, Timmy Jernigan, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox. These guys are elite rushers. This will be a great test for Tyrod Taylor as well in that new offense with the Cleveland Browns. What can he do, and how long does he actually play in that game? That is going to be a major test for him, and really all those pieces in general. How will they mesh together? Jarvis Landry, Josh Gordon, Carlos Hyde. Very important for Cleveland's chances in the regular season, this Week 3 game right here in the preseason. That could be a little foreshadowing for us. All right, how about the training camp storylines here for Cleveland? Is Tyrod Taylor a lock to be the Week 1 starter? Well, head coach Hugh Jackson has been very adamant that Tyrod will be the starter in Week 1. I'm not buying it, folks. It's coach speak right now. Now, is Tyrod Taylor the favorite to be the starter? Of course he is. But I'm not going to rule out Baker Mayfield. Baker is the most NFL-ready quarterback coming out of this year's draft class. And so in that vein, I'm confident that maybe he could push Tyrod Taylor for that starting gig. And don't worry, Drew Stanton is not going to be starting at quarterback. You don't have to worry about that. But Tyrod Taylor is not an elite quarterback by any means. He's not even a top 15 quarterback in my opinion. So Baker Mayfield will be in contention, I think, to be the Week 1 starter. Should Baker start Week 1? Let me know in comments. Type 1 for yes and 2 for no. That is a big-time storyline that I am tracking in the state of Ohio. How about this? Vastly improved offense. Kind of hinted at it earlier in the show when you have Jarvis Landry, Josh Gordon, Carlos Hyde, and perhaps Baker Mayfield starting at quarterback. That's an exciting offense. Way different than what we saw from Cleveland last year. In terms of running back here now, will Carlos Hyde beat out Nick Chubb? I don't think it's a surefire conclusion that Carlos Hyde is going to be the starting running back in Week 1. Now, he, of course, is the favorite to do so, as you see on your screen. Duke Johnson's going to be more of the third down back. But Nick Chubb is a quality running back, and there is certainly a scenario where Carlos Hyde sidesteps a little bit, maybe missteps here and there, and all of a sudden you see Nick Chubb really emerging during training camp, and he could be the lead running back. Now, that would be a bit of a surprise, to be honest with you. I'm actually a big-time fan of Carlos Hyde. He gets a bad rap sometimes, but don't rule out Nick Chubb here in the training camp battles. All right, let's look ahead to the regular season now, guys. How about the first 8 games of the year? Well, it's kind of a tough start. Pittsburgh, New Orleans, then you take on the Jets, then at Oakland, then it's Baltimore, the Chargers, they go to Tampa Bay, then they go to the big ketchup bottle and take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Some tough games in that stretch. How about the second half now? Then you take on the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, you would think. Atlanta, at Cincinnati, at Houston, and then a tough stretch here against some really good defenses. Carolina, the Denver Broncos, and a couple of important AFC North games. The Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. you know, if Cleveland is somehow in playoff contention in the AFC North, those two games are going to be really, really important. But in terms of Super Bowl 53 odds and prognostications here, plus 8,000 odds to capture the Lombardi Trophy for the Cleveland Browns. They are not Super Bowl contenders, guys. We're talking about a team that could not win a game last season. So, Tampa expectations, where are they finishing in the AFC North? I got them third. I think they're actually a better football team on paper than the Cincinnati Bengals. I have zero trust in that offensive line for Cincinnati. I have zero trust in Marvin Lewis to be an adequate head coach. And I have zero trust in what the Cincinnati Bengals actually did, or lack thereof, this past offseason. So for Cleveland, they made strides. Cincinnati did not. That's why the Browns will finish third in the AFC North. Where will they finish? I want to hear from you. Let me know in comments here on the program. And by the way, while you're at it, be sure to like our page, facebook.com/chatsports. You can as well subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/chatsportstv.